This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. Our show is part of the commitment from our parent company, Circle City Broadcasting, to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Each week, our show provides tools that entrepreneurs and business owners can use to start and run a successful small business. We highlight business and community leaders who bring in experts and share their collective experiences with you to encourage your development and give you knowledge you'll need to see your business dreams become reality. The show's 7 segments are designed to cover the important topics that a small business owner may encounter. We highlight these topics every week within the show, seen on Wish TV and streamed on wishtv.com. You can also access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BE&O.show.com, a site that continues to grow every week with new resources. When you visit, be sure to sign up for our newsletter. It's updated every Tuesday, and check out the BE&O podcast. Listen and subscribe. It's another great way to take us with you on the go. If you have thoughts about topics you'd like us to cover or maybe be part of the show, reach us on our email, beo@wishtv.com. Enough about us, though. Let's get down to business. Coming up on today's Business, Equity, and Opportunities, we visit Circle Center Mall and find out how it's trying to adapt and improve to service the changing downtown climate. That's in our industry focus. In this week's Running Your Business Day to Day, we sit in on a local networking lunch club all about building relationships to help your business succeed. And we meet the owner of a real estate brokerage company helping bridge language barriers for business owners looking for retail space. In order to get your own success story on track, you have to begin. That's why we start the show each week with Getting Started. The segment focuses on the things to consider when you plan your business and offers helpful hints from consultants and business owners who've gone through the whole process. Today, we meet a local business owner who can attest to the value of getting certified through the Office of Minority and Women Business Development.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting Started.
Last month, Mayor Joe Hogshead awarded the first ever Indianapolis Office of Minority and Women Business Development Certified Vendor of the Month to Liftoff Creamery. The owner pilot, Ryan Lynch, is well known in the community as a business owner who's found a unique way to combine his love of flight and his love of ice cream. He also knows the importance of OMWBD certification for a young business.
I'm the founder and owner of Liftoff Creamery, which is an aviation-themed ice cream shop located here on the north side of downtown Indianapolis. And with our store here, we serve primarily ice cream. We have other desserts, shakes, and pints, and other desserts that we provide the customers and our guests here locally for that. Also, I run a nonprofit for kids to learn about jobs and careers in the field of aviation, where students have the opportunity to work here at the store and get their first job, teach them about customer service skill sets, professionalism skill sets, and leadership as well, and just getting their first job and how they get into the workforce and stuff from there. And that foundation is called the NAR Foundation, National Aviation Youth Resources, which is based in local out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a commercial airline pilot by trade, and I still fly for the airlines. I'm a 16-year airline captain. I've been to 80 different countries, and I've traveled all over the world, and that's my passion. And that's how everything just started with me in the aviation themed, and also helping our community and our next generation as well. You want to figure out what your passion is and stuff when you want to start your own business. And I love desserts. I love traveling all over the world. And I said, what would be a cool, awesome concept to bring desserts and aviation theme together? So I looked on the internet and found the resources here in Indianapolis, Indiana, that they have the Minority Business Office that provide a lot of resources for you to get your business started straight off the ground, which is if it's financing and if it's business plan opportunities and all that stuff from you. And then also additionally any other resources for you to help your day-to-day operation and be successful as a business owner. Resources and also that certification opens the doors even more from just regular typical business resources you may have. The city has some insights and some additional opportunities that provide you internally once you get that certification, that they allow you to know and notify you about, and saying, hey, here's some other ways to get some more additional funding, here's some other ways to get more resources if you need that for your businesses. And they continue ensuring that your business is working successfully. If there's any challenges that come up, they help you get through that with with some coaches, or if it's any certification business reps to kind of help you get through that process. They will listen to you and just kind of guide you, kind of like what consultants do.
So the Office of Minority and Women Business Development was established in 1987. Our office is the certifying entity for the city of Indianapolis. So if you are a minority, women, veteran, or disabled-owned business enterprise, and you want to be certified by the city of Indianapolis in order to participate in city-funded opportunities as well as city-supported opportunities, then our office is where you would come to get that certification. Any business that is domiciled and headquartered here in the state of Indiana is able to be certified with us. We do require that businesses be in business for at least 2 years, but if there is a particular business that is in a specific industry or they have an immediate opportunity, we do have a waiver process that they can apply for to not have to worry about the 2 years of business. But primarily, as long as your business is headquartered and domiciled here in the state of Indiana, and you fit into one of those categories, whether minority, women, veteran, or disabled-owned business enterprise, then you can get certified through our office. We are a big supporter of Indiana businesses first, and so we are trying our best to engage with as many diverse businesses in Indiana, specifically Indianapolis, but we also know that there are some businesses outside of Indiana that want to do business in the city of Indianapolis. So our job is to assist them to get certified, but then also, like I said, to learn how to navigate the processes of doing business with the city, doing business with the state, and then doing businesses with some of the other agencies and entities that report to the city. There's a lot of people think that you have to pay to be certified. There is no fee to be certified with the city of Indianapolis. If you ever run into someone or someone tells you that you have to pay a fee to be certified, then you may want to speak to someone else. And that's why we tell folks to reach out to us directly, City of Indianapolis. If you ever run into someone or someone tells you that you have to pay a fee to be certified, then you may want to speak to someone else. And that's why we tell folks to reach out to us directly. We work with businesses that everything from that brand new mom and pop shop where, you know, they just opened up a small business, all the way to companies that are multi-million-dollar businesses. And so we provide services that sort of run the gamut for those businesses. Some folks need everything. They're coming in the door, they just started their business. We get them certified, but then we help them with those other pieces of the puzzle to make them successful. There's going to be a lot of opportunities coming through the city over the next 3 to 4 years. We have a lot of federal dollars that are going to be hitting the city. So we're encouraging folks to get certified with us now so that they can be in that process and be a part of those conversations. Certification in our office can take up to 90 days.
We here at Liftoff Creamery actually won the first Minority Business Owner Vendor of the Month award here that Indianapolis just started here for the city. And so Mayor Hogstead stopped by our store to present us with the award and a plaque for all the work and everything that we're doing here in the community, not just here at Liftoff, but also outside of our doors as well. Just in general, like aviation, you're always on the go. Everything's looking forward to what's kind of thinking ahead. And definitely for us, we look forward for having some more opportunities with more Liftoff Creameries in the areas, potentially some other locations. But again, it's expanding our work and our business stuff and what we do for the youth. That's really important to help our next generation get started and help them grow and be professionals once they're there at that level.
You'll find Ryan and his Liftoff Creamery on the Old North Side of Indianapolis. For more information about Ryan and all of our segments, visit our website. It is beoshow.com. If you have any questions for us, or if you have a great story for us to cover, please email us, beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. Coming up later, This Week in Business, we look at businesses that are personalizing their digital messages, adding custom offers directly to their audience. It can be very complex, but very rewarding as well. And later, what you need to know about payroll. That's the topic in accounting and bookkeeping. First, though, our Access to Capital segment right after this short break. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities, and we'll be right back.
Getting Started, made possible by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to capital is a key challenge for anybody hoping to start and run a small business. You have to get the money to get your business started somehow. Each week, we look at expert insight into some of the things you'll need to know about how and where to seek the funds you need.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Creditworthiness may not be a term you're currently familiar with, but one you'll need to know because for a lender, it can make all the difference in determining if you'll get a loan or not. Fifth Third Financial Center Manager Parminder Kaur explains.
Credit is an agreement between a consumer and credit agencies or the lender. Basically, it's showing your creditability towards your business, towards the lender, and to make sure that you are actually showing a good history of making payments on time, and that builds a trust between you and a lender. Anytime you are going to apply for a small business loan, they do ask for a guarantor as well. So you can have a good business credit, but if you don't have your personal credit where it needs to be, it can get declined. A lender would ask you a minimum 2 year of personal and tax returns and the business. Also, a business needs to be established at least for 18 months or more, just to make sure that we are not putting too much weight on a baby, if you want to see it that way. And also P&L for current year and the past year, which is profit and loss statements, and along with that, minimum 680 scores on a personal side. So if you do need a larger amount, more than 500K, at Fifth Third, we actually work as a one bank. So if something that I can't do on retail end, I do have our commercial partner, loan officers, who can help you with that. And for your convenience, we can actually have a joint meeting. So that way I will be there as your representative, and then you don't have to actually tell the story, and then I can actually connect with all here at the branch, so that way you don't need to go and meet. Basically, we're trying to make it easy on our customers. There are cases that, we have clients that don't match the criteria right now, but what we actually do, then we see where actually we try to uncover the needs to see where we need to help them. Most of the cases, it's their personal credit, and then we set up them with secure card, secure loan to help that credit relationship build between the customer and the credit agencies. And that usually it's not going to happen overnight, of course. It takes 6 months to a year to put you in a good credit. There are actually different types of loans, and depends, what customers' need is. We call secure loan and unsecured loan. So secure loan is where we actually ask for the collateral, and unsecured basically just based on your credit and your signature. That's about it. The collateral will take any equipment, any physical assets that the customer would have that's generating the revenue for them, and it could be a building, it could be equipments, it could be their cash value, CDs, all that. So the very first step, of course, set up an appointment with the banker. We will actually go ahead and uncover their needs, and then see where they are actually standing right now and go from there.
If you'd like more information about accessing capital, visit us online, beoshow.com. While you're there, sign up for our newsletter for even more resources. Up next, This Week in Business, our digital media expert takes a look at businesses personalizing their digital reach and what your customers will expect. That and more when Business Equity and Opportunities returns.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. Time for This Week in Business. It is clear that the consumer, your customer, is getting increasingly used to personalization, messages, offers specific to them. Nelson Spates is the general manager of Circulus Digital Media, great friend of the broadcast as well. Appreciate you always being with us.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
And sorting through these issues. A lot of people are now very comfortable and they really expect these personalized messages. Some maybe not so much. How do you get my data and all of that? Where are we on that pendulum of how comfortable people are?
Absolutely. You know, the pendulum is swinging. With the data industry is in a bit of a swing, if you will. We're in the middle of a marathon. We're past the starting gate, but we have not gotten to the finish. The likes of Apple and Google and Meta, so Facebook's parent company at this point, they're adjusting how they use data, how they let others access that data. So it's evolving from our perspective as marketers, how we use that data. There's a recent study earlier this year from Salesforce, big sample size, 73% of respondents expect businesses to know something about them.
So not just scared off by it, they're like, yes, this is what I'm looking for.
There's an expectation to understand what they're looking for and maybe even what they've done in the past. Of those respondents, 9 out of 10 like personalized messages. Now, personalized messages can mean a lot of things. That can mean as simple as addressing them by their first name or using their date of birth for a specific offer. Maybe as complicated as past purchase behavior, right? When it comes to using that information, business owners need to understand that who they're asking data from and what they're asking varies quite a bit. Historically, email and home address are easier to obtain compared to phone. Historically, the younger generations, Gen Z, the millennials, are more apt to provide information than maybe a baby boomer. So from a business owner perspective, they really need to understand and be conscious of who and what they're asking.
Then there's the Xers who are in the middle going, no, I don't want to, but maybe I do. And anyway, I'll vouch for that generation. Personalization, for it to be good business, it has to benefit the actual business. So how do our small business owners sort of evaluate where they are in all of this?
Absolutely. So another good study from Acquia showcased that a little over half, 55% of businesses that made a commitment to personalization within their marketing strategies benefited positively. It can positively impact your bottom line if you had the time and desire to commit to such a strategy. Now, keeping in mind with that, business owners polled said that roughly 2/3 of them thought they were doing a good job. From a consumer perspective, only 1/3 of them thought businesses did a good job.
And that's the important one.
Yes, and the takeaway is this: personalization is difficult. It's not a one strategy, take it or leave it opportunity. When we coach our clients on how to communicate with their customers, it's easy to get overwhelmed. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. There's 9 different channels I need to work on. Start small and pay attention to a actionable outcome. For example, if we're talking about your email strategy or like an email drip campaign to past purchasers of your business, if you add in personalization, can you increase your open rate? Can you increase your conversion rate? Focus on 1 or 2 things. Master that and then move on to the next channel.
So the theory on technology is, well, this should all be getting easier, right?
Sure.
That's maybe not necessarily the case.
Our opinion is going to become even more challenging. And there's a lot of factors to this from a business owner's perspective. Data is evolving. We talked about that. We're in the middle of this race. Things are changing on how we can access and how we can use the data. There's always going to be data available, but it's even shining a light even more so on the importance of first-party data. Continuously ask your customers information so that you can better their experience moving forward. It's going to do nothing but help your business moving forward.
And the numbers you tell us about show that people are getting more comfortable with it. So even if as the business owners you're like, I don't want to bother them, they may want to be bothered for it if it helps their experience.
They may want to be bothered by it. And keep in mind too, as a business owner, you have a innate challenge that's going to be continuously growing, moving into perpetuity, and that is there's more channels and more distraction to get in front of your consumer than ever before, and that's not going away.
Nelson can always help you guide yourself through all of this. His contact information is available on beoshow.com. Nelson, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
When we come back, if you have employees and it's hard to grow a business without them, you'll need to know how to handle payroll. That's today's topic in our accounting and bookkeeping segment. Coming up when Business Equity and Opportunities return.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. Everyone likes to get paid, and as a business owner, you have to pay yourself and your employees.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Welcome again to Accounting and Bookkeeping here on Business Equity and Opportunities. From time to time, we talk with a man who knows it very well from our end, Circle City Broadcasting, our parent company, and all the businesses associated with it. Ty Shea is the Chief Financial Officer. Ty, good to see you again. Thanks for taking time to talk with us.
Scott, glad to be back. Thanks so much for having me.
You got to pay your folks at some point. If your business grows in such a way that you're not the only person doing work, payroll is important, and it is very much woven in the whole accounting and bookkeeping area, correct?
100%. And let's face it, your employees aren't there working for free, right? The most important thing to them is their paycheck. And so that has to be, as an employer, a major priority for you is to properly pay, withhold taxes, remit taxes, and report wages and taxes for your employees. Also, for the businesses I've been associated with, payroll is by far, and it depends on the business you're in, but can often be your biggest expense by far. So, from our perspective, it's very important to get it right.
When you talk about that too, it's a bit of a moving target in terms of all these rules, correct? I mean, you can't just say, oh, well, it's always been like this, because it may change next week.
No question. Payroll rules are fluid. They change, often. And if you choose to try and do payroll in-house, you are expected, and as the responsibility is for you to keep up on all of those changes. And that's why I recommend for all businesses to generally outsource that payroll function. There are payroll companies that run the entire gamut of your very high-end payroll company that does not only just payroll but HR related things, keeping track of vacation balances, things like that, to basically your meat and potatoes. All they do is handle the payroll, do withdrawals, do your quarterly filings, right? Your quarterly payroll filings, and make sure that you are staying on top of and in accordance with payroll laws.
And there are so many things, taxes you've mentioned, and that can lead to trouble if you don't take care of this the right way. Payroll isn't just about making sure the folks get what they need. It makes sense to make sure Uncle Sam's getting what he needs too, right?
That's right. And there's one thing you can count on is if as an employer you are not remitting and reporting properly your payroll taxes, they will find you at some point. And so it's far easier and a great way to avoid a massive headache is to put that function in the hands of professionals who do it every day for their job.
We talk every week about accessing capital, finding the money to do what you need to do to get your business going. The bank needs to see, likes to see, wants to see that you are on point with your payroll.
No question. Yeah, I mean it's almost to the point where it's assumed, right, that you've got your filings in order. In my experience, occasionally banks will ask to see reporting related to your payroll. It's just one of those ducks you have to have lined up if you're to be taken seriously by a potential lender.
To bring back not just this conversation, but times in the past where we've talked, it can be intimidating, certainly when you're starting a business, maybe you're your only employee, at least to begin, to think that I have to hire a payroll person or I have to hire a CFO. None of that's true. There are people who can and will, and it is their job to give you whatever you need, large, small, or in between.
Correct. And you know, I think I want to emphasize there are very cost efficient but very effective folks out there who can help you and are used to helping small businesses like the ones we're trying to reach out to. They do this for their job every day, right? And as a business owner, you simply don't have time to be spending on payroll, especially something that is so important. Send that work to a professional, get it done right and timely and filed appropriately with, the government and alleviate that headache that you don't need so that you can focus on, growing your business and making it, profitable and a worthwhile endeavor.
In many cases, those folks are small business owners as well, sole proprietors and whatnot, so the business community helps the business community, and you've helped us today. Shea, thank you.
Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate it.
If you'd like to know more about our accounting and bookkeeping segment or any of those segments throughout the course of the show, visit our website, beoshow.com. You can access all of our previous work, visit additional resources, and find upcoming business events, all designed to help you on your path to business success. Also, be sure to sign up for the BE&O newsletter to find out more about business resources in our community. Still to come on Business Equity and Opportunities, find out how joining a networking group can be a great way to generate more business and learn great tips from others. And stick around for today's success story. We visit with the owner of a real estate firm that specializes in multicultural clients. This is Business Equity and Opportunities, and we'll be right back. I'm Scott Sanders. Thanks for watching this encore presentation of Business Equity and Opportunities. We hope you've learned some tips that'll help you start or grow your own business. If you'd like to catch up on past episodes or segments, watch us here every weekday or visit us at beoshow.com. And don't forget, new episodes of Business Equity and Opportunities air every Sunday morning on Wish TV, or you can stream it live at wishtv.com. Fuel your entrepreneurial spirit. Watch Business Equity and Opportunities from Wish TV.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. Once you have your business up and running, you may find it useful to reach out to a local networking group. Great way to meet other business professionals and share ideas to promote your business. We visit one such group in this week's Running Your Business Day to Day.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Running your business day to day.
Brian Bodenhammer is the COO and founder of GNLC 2.0, the Genuine Networking with Leadership and Communication Group. That's a group of professionals who meet weekly to learn about each other's businesses and find ways to help each other grow.
I've been part of several networking groups, and a few of them are large, a few of them are small. And what we found out is they didn't really fit everybody. I actually went to one group and they had 50 people at the meeting and they were all members. And I saw one person go to another person, shake their hand and introduce themselves because I know who you are. I've been part of this group for 3 months. So that kind of inspired me to start this group. You see a lady over here, her name's Diane Reardon. She's actually one of the co-founders of the group. And we talk about secret sauces and learn about each other. And we really build those connections, where bigger groups, you really can't do that. I think with networking, especially, you're gonna grow. I mean, you could do onesie, twosies, but everybody knows about 200 people that will take their phone calls. And you do a group like this, that 200 turns into 4,000. 20 of those people will be kind of related to others, but it's 180 people. So the networking actually gets you to learn more, how to relate more and build those social skills. And for some people to do that 2-minute elevator speech, it helps them do that. And with this group, we have one guy who does tool of the day. So he'll go around, here's my tool, and how it relates to life sometimes. We also have inspirational moments or learning moments that maybe you wouldn't get in a larger group. Diversity works itself out. I don't want a bunch of 6'4", 280-pound guys in the group. It's just not genuine. And the more diversity you can have, whether it's social, could be ethnic, obviously you want different categories. We've decided not to stick with different categories. A lot of them are just one per category. We've invited people that may be the same category, but they might have a different perspective. Because not all mortgage people are going to fit everybody's need. Not every coach is going to fit everybody's need. Mortgage people, and just about everything. There's going to be different perspectives, and they actually are in the same field, but I hadn't thought about that. So that's kind of their secret sauce that they can share. One of my things I really focus on is learning how to edify people really quick. I think one of my skills is to find a way to relate with people. It could be something silly. Who's your favorite sports team? Or who you guys have a rivalry? It could be shared experiences where you went to school. It could be something that it's just innocuous. But finding those relationships and how you connect, that's huge. And in larger groups, you can't do that a lot of times. I will tell people, try not to be part of 2 or more groups. And if you are going to be part of 2 groups, make one a smaller, more intimate group, and then join one of those groups that just invites everybody. And there's a place for both of those, but like I said, building the relationships, I think that's so key when it comes to building and finding a good niche for yourself. We try to meet 40 times a year, but 2 of those meetings, we build in a big event, so we'll invite as many people as we can. We do one in May, and we do that the week before, the Friday before Carburation Day, because here in Indy, Carburation, and there's nothing, you can't do anything. So we call that the greatest spectacle in networking. And we do another one in November after Thanksgiving. There's none of that going on. So the Friday before Thanksgiving, we do another one of those, and we call that Let's Talk Turkey.
For more information, visit our website. Again, it's beoshow.com. You'll find all kinds of information about all of our segments. Up next in Industry Focus, we look at the business of shopping malls. That's when business equity and opportunities return.
Every business is unique, and every business has a target audience. Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble to reach a customer base that spans the globe. Pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. No matter the size of your business, put Circulus Digital Media to work for you and get results. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities, talking shopping malls, which have long been centers where people shop, but also gather together. The pandemic may have slowed that down, but there is a resurgence in mall traffic as retailers return and malls find innovative ways to use their spaces.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
Circle Center Mall opened its doors in Indianapolis September 8th, 1995. Since then, it's seen its fair share of changes. General Manager Luke Ashelman talked to us about what the mall is doing to help with small businesses and make the mall experience even better for downtown visitors.
Over nearly 30 years, Circle Center has been such a tremendous asset for the state of Indiana in downtown Indianapolis. And we're really thrilled that in 2022, we've continued to meet the consumer demand by adding widely popular restaurant Sugar Factory this year. We brought in North High Brewing Company in a collaboration with Cohatch, which is rapidly expanding their national footprint in the co-working market. We've opened a new food court unit, Naptown Hot Chicken. We also hosted the Michelangelo Sistine Chapel exhibit in July and August. It was a very successful attraction that really pulled from a statewide audience, and it was very successful. Cohatch is a great example of the success small businesses can find in the shopping mall environment. You know, they were able to come into a second generation restaurant space, build it out to their specifications, and use that as a co-working space for their members to have an office in downtown Indianapolis here. And for the mall side, that drives in traffic. It's more people that can also go and shop and eat and go to our entertainment attractions as well. So really pairing that small business with the mall was a huge success for both sides. Well, we want to be very welcoming from a DEI perspective, and have seen success in having small businesses, minority owned, open here in the mall. The Shea Experience, owned by Katina Washington. It's a black owned department store, a business incubator for minority business owners to have a chance to launch their businesses, get them in a physical, brick and mortar experience. There's also small businesses class that goes along with that. So it's really a launch point for, in that case, black owned businesses. We're welcoming. If you have a good concept and want to be part of adding value to the mall and driving traffic and sales for your business, we are more than happy to have a conversation with you about whether you fit here in the retail mix at Circle Center. We certainly learned a lot from COVID, and it really forced us to look at what we were doing with our physical space. Malls continue to be an important gathering place in communities, and what you're seeing is the creation of space that is dynamic. It's no longer just a static retail-centric shopping center, but it's really a dynamic space to mix all different kinds of uses and create a experience that people cannot get within their homes. For example, here, in addition to all the mixed-use leasing activity between restaurants, office space, entertainment uses, attractions, we've also brought in, worked with local artists to bring in, painting murals around the mall. It makes our space a little more exciting, but gives a platform to those local artists, and also, for those coming in from home, it gives them an experience that they wouldn't get otherwise. We're also looking at adding live music on a weekly basis. Again, we want to create this right environment that makes people excited to get off the couch and get out into the physical space and still conduct their shopping and have something to eat and get them excited about being out and about. Circle Center is so unique in Indiana because it's here connected to the Indiana Convention Center, a block away from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, 3 blocks away from Circle Center. So we're so tied into the downtown Indianapolis community, the events, conventions, that we really need to be at the forefront of really embracing what's going on around us and incorporating the environment here into the overall experience of some of these events and conventions. We're continually looking for opportunities to do pop-up stores. We did a pop-up shop during Gen Con that was selling Gen Con related costumes and other artifacts. The next one that comes to mind is Jam Fest. We'll have a cheer shop here as a pop-up store. So again, and that kind of goes back to your question on small businesses, is we continue to provide that platform and want to create a unique experience as we blend more pop-up related experiences. Certainly we're looking at options for the holiday season as well, and blend that with our kind of national staple of retailers and restaurants to create that unique experience that really you can only have here at Circle Center. My personal wish is it continues to evolve based on changing tastes and preferences of consumers. We know this is not a static consumer that we're dealing with, and so we need to be at the forefront. Again, whether it be offering experiences, art, live music, embracing technology, whether it's from an esports standpoint or augmented and virtual reality, all the stakeholders involved in Circle Center need to have a vision that embraces the future demand, because we know it's going to change and we need to put ourselves in position to take advantage of that.
Up next on Business Equity and Opportunities, in tribute to Hispanic Heritage Month, we share the great success story of one woman's quest to help new businesses join the community while they deal with the added stress of a language barrier. Find out how she continues to grow her business and others when we return.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. This year's Hispanic Heritage Celebration still has 1 week to go. As part of our Celebrating Hispanic Heritage initiative, we wanted to bring you the story of a woman-owned business that has spent years finding ways to bridge the gap for business owners whose first language is something other than English. This is her success story.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
In today's success story, we meet Kelly Ibanez, the owner of Libertad Real Estate Company, a bilingual firm specializing in commercial real estate and working to bridge the gaps for new business owners for whom English is not their first language.
So I got started about 20 years ago in the real estate business and decided to focus on residential real estate. My basic thought was to bring the Spanish and the English-speaking community together through my gift of a second language. I speak Spanish fluently. It started out in residential. I then branched off into commercial as well as investments. We have a property management company and a full design team. So I got into real estate because I actually had a background in radio and TV, but I just felt like there was something missing in my life. And I saw the rise of the demographic of the Latino community. From the time I was little, from the time I had become an adult after college, it had increased greatly. So I thought that there was real opportunity for me to use my language skill in order to not only help a community that really needed help, but also to help a community that was really in need of being educated in the whole investment real estate world. So when I started the company, the whole goal was to kind of bridge this gap between the English-speaking community and the Spanish-speaking community. So whether it was bringing buyers and sellers together or landlords and tenants on the commercial side, there was not, at that time, 20 years ago, a lot of Spanish-speaking individuals that were versed in real estate to be able to kind of bridge that gap between these two parties that obviously had business dealings that could be had with each other. So I saw myself as kind of this interim person that could help bring both sides together to make deals happen. Simply speaking, it's translation, but if we get into a little bit more depth, it's every aspect of business ownership, whether it's opening up an LLC, a corporation, the types of permitting that is needed to, let's say, open a restaurant. It's the whole facet of being an entrepreneur here and helping our clients start a successful business right from the beginning. So we're really there from the beginning throughout the growth of the business, and we're here for when they're open their second, third locations, whether it's here or sometimes throughout the United States. Looking at the United States, we truly are a melting pot. It's kind of a cliche that we say this all the time, but any of us that is here, whether we're first, second, third generation, maybe we don't even know where our ancestors came from, but we were all placed here for a reason. So I think working with an immigrant community, it's very important to realize that these are people that don't detract from our system, they add to our system. Economically, politically, culturally. It's a beautiful, beautiful community, whatever community you're from. So I think if you have the gift of language or culture or specialize in something, it's just remembering to be inclusive of all people, because we're all here for the same reasons basically. And when you take out the language barrier, you realize we're all the same. We all have the same wants, needs, goals in our life. I think a misconception a lot of times of the Hispanic community is that it's a community that's taking. You hear this a lot in the news. Assistance is needed in terms of if you're new in the country, you need to know certain things of how the country operates, just like all of us would if we were living in another country. But I think the biggest thing I would want the community outside of the Hispanic community to understand about the Latino community is that these are entrepreneurs. These are hardworking, intelligent people that are contributing so greatly to our economy. I mean, this is $1 trillion business, and the demographic is growing. It's beautiful, and there's money to be made by all of us, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this company and do the things that we do.
As always, our thanks to all of our contributors who joined us for this episode of Business Equity and Opportunities. We hope you found this morning's show useful, perhaps inspiring. You can always find out more information about the work we do in all 7 segments of our weekly show on our website. Again, it's beoshow.com. There you'll find the segments to interest both startups and, if you're currently running a small business of your own, areas to help you as well. The topics include new thoughts on getting started, how to access capital, running your business day to day, tips about accounting and bookkeeping. Keep the numbers straight. We also feature news and trends in This Week in Business, and of course, a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next Sunday morning, 10 o'clock here on Wish TV for a look into the world of small business. You can also always stream the show as it happens live on wishtv.com and find the content from all of our shows and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. For even more, listen and subscribe to our BE&O podcast, part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. And as always, we invite you to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get valuable updates and information. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to be part of the work we do here, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We would love to hear from you, perhaps showcase your business one day. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for watching.